I don't think people realize what a massive opportunity you have taking the LSAT in 2025 without the logic games section. For those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now, back when I took the LSAT, logic games was, of course, on the test, and it was the one section I could not crack for far too long. I majored in political science. I was more of a humanities type person. Math and similar did not come easily to me. And so the fact that you're taking the LSAT in January 2025 or later, no more logic games on the test. This is great news because instead of LSAC replacing logic games with some bizarre new type of question, they just cut that section entirely, nuked a third of the test, replaced that section with just more logical reasoning instead. What this means is that you can narrow your focus in your studying, double your attention devoted to logical reasoning, and then any gains you make in your understanding of logical reasoning will be doubled across the two sections. Now, it's very easy to get overwhelmed with all the different types of questions on the logical reasoning section. A lot of these LSAT prep textbooks that are 500 pages long will overwhelm you with their overcategorization of the 15 or so different types of logical reasoning questions and maybe the subtypes and sub-subtypes within that. I don't want you to get overwhelmed or bogged down in all the minutia, in all the details there. Instead, start with the biggest, most impactful areas of the LSAT, in particular, the three most common types of logical reasoning questions, namely necessary assumption, inference, and flaw. Those collectively are the lion's share of the section. Those are the lowest hanging fruit. You'll get the most bang for your buck by starting there to begin with. And then you can focus on the relatively less common question types. And one thing you'll discover, especially once you start hitting the 160s, is that it's not always about the type of question based on question stem. At a certain point, drilling is no longer going to be the best use of your time. Instead, you're going to want to focus on your pacing, how you allocate your time over the course of the section. You're going to want to focus on your endurance, doing full-length timed practice tests, and you're also going to want to look at not just question stem types, but also the method of reasoning discussed in the argument, in the stimulus, meaning basically, what is the question actually asking you to understand, not just what is the task before you. But the good news, once again, is that just as there are a limited number of types of questions they are testing you on, some being more common than others, there is also a limited set of methods of reasoning they are testing you on, whether it's arguments in logical reasoning or reading comprehension passage structures in terms of how they lay out their arguments. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, is the January LSAT too late to apply to law school this cycle and start law school roughly 7-8 months later? The good news is the January LSAT is not too late. Scores come back February 5th, and you've got a couple weeks between taking the LSAT and getting your score back. And so during those couple weeks, you can go hard on your application essays, personal statement, optional essays, addenda, resume, pulling together letters of rec. And then when scores come back February 5th, you can hit submit on your applications, send them out. And if you look at law school application deadlines, virtually all of them are going to allow the results of the January LSAT. And in fact, they will also even allow the results of the February LSAT. So the February LSAT is not too late either. Now, of course, all else being equal, yeah, it's better to apply earlier rather than later. But the thing is, all else is rarely equal. And so if you think another couple months between the November LSAT and the January LSAT is going to be beneficial for your studying and beneficial for you getting your score even just a point or two higher, it's well worth the wait taking the LSAT in January instead, rather than having taken it in November. And so if you're going to benefit from having Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, whatever your winter break is looking like, maybe between semesters in college, or maybe a bit of downtime during work, it's beneficial for you to have this time and take the most advantage of it that you possibly can. And of course, if you're self-studying or you're in a prep course, but it's not working for you and you're looking for a different approach and you haven't yet joined LSAT Unplugged, I'd be happy to help you out. At LSAT Unplugged, we offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. You can check out the links below to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.